from the state of Delaware. It's Video Game Town's Top 10 Games of the Year. I am your host, Jared Russo, the mayor of Video Game Town, and here with me is the one, the only, Grant Bruner.
I am also from Delaware. I am in Delaware as we speak. I'm in it. Is this the first time we've podcasted from the same state?
Yes, I am also in Delaware. Tomorrow we're going to New Jersey. Then I'm going to Chicago. I feel like that one politician whose name I forget, and then we're going to go to Virginia, and then Ohio.
Oh, Howard Dean.
Howard Dean.
Yeah.
And then we're going to Nevada, and then Arizona. We're going to go back and forth of our top 10 games of the year, and then there will be probably one, maybe two crossovers. I don't know. I'm guessing.
I think that there's one overlap. Two if you count honorable mentions.
I have 15 honorable mentions.
Jared, that's too many honorable mentions. I have one honorable mention, because if you just say honorable mentions, it's every video game that came out. Congratulations, you published a video game.
Yeah, I'm not going to list them all. In fact, I don't even know if I want to list any.
My one honorable mention is Donkey Kong Bonanza. I liked that game. I didn't get around to finishing it. But it's good. I thought that they did a great job. That is why it is an honorable mention, in that, there are parts that you could I would criticize, but I think broadly they made a extremely fun game. Good on them it's probably the only Nintendo, even though it's the Switch 2's year, it's probably the only Nintendo game that really has any chance at any major, lists, right? Because I don't think, Metroid was kind of meh, the response to Mario Kart was kind of meh. It seems like Donkey Kong is Nintendo's one real shot.
Yeah. Here's what I'll do. I'll mention two specific games that are in my honorable mentions, just for you, Grant. Final Fantasy Tactics, The Ivalice Chronicles, and Clair Obscur, Expedition 33.
Jared, I let the listener know that I had been begging Jared for months now to go back and finish Clair Obscur. So this is under protest.
I don't think it was going to make my top 10 regardless.
Really? It's so good, though. And it's winning almost every GOTY.
That's fine. Good. It can win whatever it wants. That's great. I hold no ill will. It's good. It's no Elden Ring.
I guess, but here's the thing. It's if it was something that, if it was a game or a genre that you just have no interest in, I would be oh yeah, of course, Jared's not going to play that. But, you like RPGs.
I did. I played 10 hours. I feel like I played through a third of it.
When Grant says, I don't really want to play that Souls-like, even though it's getting a bunch of GOTY stuff, you go yeah, of course. Yeah, no, Grant doesn't want to play a Souls-like, I get it. Sure.
And I played a good chunk of Clair Obscur, and I liked it, but it didn't, blow my brains out, and it didn't hook me to the point where I'm I gotta re-up on Game Pass soon, and I don't know. I like
Final Fantasy Tactics, though. I am very pleasantly surprised that you got its hooks in you, because it's a great game. Those are, and I would love for them to put out something with the same quality of polish, to do Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, because I think it's also a really great game that I think you would love. It's a really fucking good game.
I mean, hey, listen, it's no Into the Breach, but here's what we'll do. Grant, you're going to go with your 10, and then my 10, and then back and forth.
My number 10, I often feel like the bottom of my list ends up with, games that squeaked in at the end of the year, of, something comes out, and I'm just well, shit, I have to fit this in before I ship my list, because this is so good, or, this is so up my alley. My number 10 is The Berlin Apartment. Which is a game I've written. I think I've written about every game on my top 10 list, which is good. It's a good place to be. It is a game that has a framing narrative of, in kind of the modern day, it's a dad and his kid, and you in the framing narrative that you're playing as the kid, and you're kind of exploring this apartment in Berlin, not to blow anyone's mind.
What?
And then you're a kid, you're exploring these things, and you find little trinkets of people who had been in that apartment before, and you played snippets. One is just really emotionally moving regarding the Holocaust, but also it goes in like there's like a sci-fi chapter that's really fucking cool. It's a great game. And it's relatively cheap. It doesn't take super long. It's like 3 to 4 hours to play. The Berlin Apartment is a joy, and I would wholeheartedly recommend it to anybody who likes any sort of walking sim type game. It is a joy to play.
Interesting that joy and the Holocaust are in the same block.
Yeah,
of text.
so it's like I would say that like it made me. I wrote about how it like made me like my heartbeat on my chest. It evokes terror into you, but that is like you're talking about a history of a place. There's like bad shit that's happened in that place, and I think that it is like you have to come to terms with the bad shit. For there to ever be good, you have to like accept and come to terms with the bad shit that happened. You can't just pretend it didn't happen. I think is kind of like one of the things the Berlin Apartment like deals with.
That is the exact opposite of my number 10.
It's shoot guy in the face, the video game.
It's Borderlands 4, which is a game that also
which you shoot guys in the face, the video game.
It squeaked by because I was like having a hard time trying to like put a game that was number 10. Maybe Absolem probably should have been there. Maybe
Claire Obscure.
I don't know. Elden Ring, Night Rain. No, like there's a lot of those kind of games.
Jared, here's the question: do you legitimately believe that Borderlands 4 is a better game than Claire Obscure?
No, but I liked it way more because I played it way more. I had way more fun with it.
Isn't your primary argument against Kirby Air Ride is that anything's fun if you play it with your friends?
No, that's most people's arguments. My argument is like, in order for it to be fun, like it's just a thing that you and your like. It feels like the game is like inherently like worthless.
I'm just giving you shit.
That's fine. Borderlands 4 is a major improvement on a series that I very much love. I had a lot of fun playing it with Jack, our CEO. I want to get back to it in January. It I would say like overall, not counting RPGs, this was like a weird year where like I just like there were a lot of indies and I liked them but I didn't love them. There were a lot of games where it's like I really liked them but I didn't love them. Whereas like previous years were like, oh, love. And this year I'm looking at it and I'm like, I think I like the first one better. It was like a lot of those kind of reactions. So it's good that this one is like, oh, this is the best Borderlands they've made since 2.
I feel like it is a game that had, a year that had so many games that are like new and interesting and not sequels. I don't think I mean, I guess you could count Donkey Kong as a sequel, even though it's not numbered. I guess you could count that, and I think that you legitimately call that a sequel. And I guess my next one is kind of a sequel. Lots of new stuff. I really enjoyed how much new, interesting stuff was happening this year. That it's not just a top 10 list filled with like, they did that again. Like, they shipped a fourth one in this series, which is a lot of what the video game sphere tends to do. Is just, well, it's another one of those, which are sometimes great. Like sometimes you get Breath of the Wild or whatever, but you do end up with a lot of samey stuff.
What's your number 9?
Luminous Arise, which is, I think, probably, in my numbered one, the only thing you could legitimately call a sequel. Which is, like, it's weirdly kind of a sequel to Luminous and kind of a sequel to Tetris Effect. I think it is the best version of Luminous that has ever been made. And, there's been, like, I don't know, 3-4 versions of Luminous, and I think those are good. I love the original Luminous. I liked the Vita version a lot, too. I played a bunch of that. But this is... What if Tetris Effect was in Luminous, or Lumines, as I like to refer to it to my wife. You play some of them Lumines, and they did that. It's doing the synesthesia thing. You're trying to like feel the music and the vibration as you're playing the game, and trying to get you into this like a trance-like state. And I think they just nail it. They do a great job. It isn't as good as Tetris Effect because one, Tetris Effect was already a thing, so you already have that to compare it against. And 2, Tetris is just better than Luminous, so it's a little bit tough to compare those things. But I think Luminous Arise is absolutely worth your money. It's a great game.
Eventually it'll go on sale, and I'll play it, and I'll go, wow, this is Luminous.
They did a great job.
Number 9 on my list is a game that I liked but didn't love, like the first one. Take a shot every time I say that. Hades 2. I am not at all compelled to beat this game to almost completion like I did the first game, where it was like a go-to roguelike. And this, I played it, and I got my fill, and I saw what all the other stuff afterwards was, and I said, I'm good. And that, to me, that is like shocking because of how much I played Hades 1. That Hades 2 is one of those games where I was like, I see what they were going for. I don't know if they quite nailed it, because I'm not as invested in the story. I'm not as in love with these weapons. I don't love using the magic.
It can't be as novel as the first one. Like, that's like a fundamental problem with the sequel.
But the changes, I'm not a super big fan of, but like, you need to change things from the first game. But the direction they went in, it was just a little like, not for me. But
yeah,
it's on my list.
Yeah, I didn't play as much of it as I optimally would have liked. Like, it's just been a year where I've had a lot of time where I'm not playing video games. It's frustrating at times, but like, if I had more time that was available to play video games, I would have played more Hades 2.
Yeah.
My number 8, Sword of the Sea. Jared, I said, Jared, that you need to play this. Do you think that this is a game that is this a like over winter break type game for you?
Possibly. It's on my wish list, which means I will get to it eventually.
It is What If Journey and Tony Hawk, which which is like compelling to me, and based on what I know about you, and I've known you for some time and know about your taste in video game, seems pretty compelling from what I would expect for you.
Tony Hawk is life.
They do it really well, and it looks beautiful, and it's fun to play, and you know what? It is a great game if you just want to fucking chill and do tricks on your sword that is also a skateboard, that is also a surfboard in the desert. I think it's fucking cool as shit. Streamed a bunch of it with Molly. Had a great time. Sword of the Sea. And they're also the people who made The Pathless, also Abzu. And I really, really, really loved Abzu. It's Journey. It's Tony Hawk. It's a skateboard, but also a sword, but also a surfboard. So it's cool. Sword of the Sea is great.
I liked The Pathless, and I liked running through that world in that really cool way where they blended like shooting your arrow and moving and stuff. Mm-hmm. But that game had no map, and it got so confusing because it was just forest. So that was a really hard game to get through.
This is not like, it's much more straightforward.
But I like The Pathless, so I might.
It's a studio that prioritizes, does this feel good? Does movement feel good?
Number 8 on my list. It's a game I liked. Didn't love as much as the first one. Take another shot. Hollow Knight Silksong. I played 40 hours of this game. I got through as much as I could before I put it down, and I said, man, didn't quite have the same magic. The art's gorgeous. The music is gorgeous. It plays great. It's a really very, very good Metroidvania. But it is way too hard for no reason. And it just doesn't have the memorable boss fights or the personal upgrades or the charm system I like. Again, it's like the things that they changed, it's like they changed the good things just for the sake of it. And I was like really looking for like, well, why did you make this? Why did this need to be its own game and not DLC? And I couldn't find an answer to that.
Because now they can make DLC on this.
I don't know why this took 7 years. This did not seem like a 7-year effort.
Well,
that's just me.
There's only like a handful of people making that fucking game, right? It's like,
but Hollow Knight 1 was huge, and this game was smaller, and it seemed like there's less stuff in it. So I don't understand.
Well, Hollow Knight, Silksong, eat shit. That's what Jared says.
Yeah, all these games I hate are on my top 10 games of the year list.
My number 7 game, Old Skies. This is from the people who made a bunch of great games like Unavowed, which is unfortunately very similarly named to various other games, like the Shiva and Emerald City and all that good stuff. This is Wadjet Eye, and they're keeping the dream of a point-and-click adventure game alive. This is a time-traveling tale. We streamed a good bit of the opening on our YouTube channel. You could check that out. And I think that they do this is probably their best game to date, which is saying something, because I feel quite warmly about many of those games. I don't think it's enough to convince Jared to play a point and click adventure game, but as someone who loves them, I think they did a great job. Old Skies. It also has a great vocal performances too. So Old Skies is great, and if you like point and click adventure games, you should play it.
Is that the one we streamed where you were like stuck behind a door?
Yeah.
Just the fact that you were stuck behind a door speaks volumes as to why me and that genre are like incompatible.
Because
like,
you want to kickflip the door or something?
Like, you're gonna let a door stop you? My dude?
Yeah. That's how point and click adventure games work. You gotta do a puzzle.
Indiana Jones wasn't that. That was like you're doing stuff.
Yeah, there's some put glowing orb into necklace type shit that you gotta do in Indiana Jones.
Alright. See, for me, I would just roll the door over because my number 7 is Once Upon a Katamari.
You love Katamari. I think that is a canonical part of the Jared experience, is that if there's a Katamari happening, it's gonna be on your list.
I'm not willing to willy-nilly put it on my list every edition, because as I'm doing the very slow exercise of making Game of the Year lists for, like, when I was in high school or middle school, there are some later Katamaris that are not up to snuff. Like, they're good, but they're not like... There's nothing really memorable about the levels or the music. Usually it's the art design. They usually always change the art style for each one. Like, there was a cel-shaded one on the... I want to say the Vita, and the Beautiful Katamari on 360. There was something different about that one. But this is the best Katamari.
It's a brown shooter. They made it look like Gears of War.
No, never. It's a flesh ball. It's like inside.
It's the Infinity trailer.
Blood.
The giant ball has a demon bursting out of its back.
Yeah, so but this one is the best one they've made since the first two. Some good new tracks. I got the deluxe edition, so I got all the old tracks, which are just infinitely better. But there's a lot of game here. You go through the Stone Age and the Dinosaur Age and ancient Roman times and the Wild West and like the future, and you're going through all these sort of like different points
in this order.
Edo Japan, and it's a really good mix of just roll up the ball to a certain size in a certain time limit, or look for a particular thing, or we're looking for particular items, or you're not allowed to touch certain items, or you have to do a race and you're doing laps for like with pirates. It is very fun, wacky, and innovative, and there's a lot of cousins and there's a lot of fun outfits, and it's just a terrific time. And I never really thought I would get like another legit sequel like this ever. It seemed like the franchise just petered out. It just kind of just fizzled. But we're back in business, baby. This is the return I was looking forward to, and it's great.
That's awesome. Is it available on Switch 2? Like, is there a Switch 2 version?
That's cool. I don't know if there's a Switch 2 version, but it's on Switch.
Okay. Because it seems like it's like the perfect place for a Katamari game.
Yeah, it's on there.
Good on him. I should play some Katamari. Are the rerolls good?
The rerolls are excellent.
I'm well aware of Katamari Damacy, and I've watched people play, but I don't think I've ever played myself. At least nothing that I can remember. I think it's one of those things that I should grab one when it's on sale sometime and maybe stream playing some Katamari.
When Lonely Rolling Star hits, there is no better song in the history of gaming.
It's a cool thing. It's one of those things where it's like I'm glad that it exists. Like even if I will never play it, which I think I will, but even if I never did, it's like I sleep better knowing that Katamari exists. I want cool, weird, abstract shit to be available and playable on every platform. My number 6. Speaking of weird, cool, abstract shit,
nice.
Blippo Plus. I really had a great time with Blippo Plus. It is probably like weirdly it's the game on this list that I think I'm most likely to replay from start to finish again. Like I guess maybe like Luminous, but like going through you have a cable station like or like a cable interface where you can kind of go through and watch different shows that are happening, and then once you've watched what they have to offer, you get a new package, and then you see like the next step in all of these shows. You're going through time and saying, okay, this. And then there is like kind of like a meta story happening that you get exposed to and like see what that happens and how that progresses over time. And I think the individual productions look great. They did an incredible job making them. And then I also think that like the UI is pretty much perfect. And there's a lot of like weird 1980s, 1990s like artifacts of like CRTs that happens, and like weird bent cable shit, or like when you have like a scrambled like porn channel, there's that stuff. And like it's nostalgic in the best ways possible, and I couldn't get enough Blippo. Give me more Blippo. Blippo Plus available on the what do they call them? PD near you.
There are websites or in-browser experiences where you can watch old television and like change the dial to watch like old MTV and stuff.
Sure.
Why wasn't this just one of those? Like, why did they have to make it into a game?
It makes a lot of sense for it to be interactive, because I think like to some extent, like you could make a browser thing that is a game, but this isn't just here's random like videos from the 80s. It's like we're making all of this bespoke content in the style of things that it could exist in like the late 80s, early 90s. It's like, why would the weird videos in Alan Wake exist when you could just watch like shitty like soap operas on VHS tapes? Because like you're doing a pastiche cool thing. That's why.
But Alan Wake like is a game that you play.
Just think that video games are only allowed to exist if you like punch a dude or shoot a dude.
No.
This is the end of like that's what you think video games are.
No, that's not true. I just did Katamari. It's rolling. I like walking simulators. You're walking in those.
Punching dudes in the face.
My number 6 is a game where you slash robots and ninjas and stuff, and you throw stars at them and they explode. It's Shinobi Art of Vengeance. This is what I'm talking about. You bring an old franchise back, and you give it this kind of treatment. This might be the best Shinobi game. This is a great Metroidvania in a year of many of them. Last year's Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, I think it's called. That would be good if I got the name right, because I like glazing on that game. Pop the Lost... Yeah, I got it right. Good job, brain. That game introduced a feature that I think every game should have, where you can take photos and pin them to the map. This didn't have it. Hollow Knight didn't have it. Metroid Prime 4 didn't have it. I think those games should just patch that in like today. This is super, super fun, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. Gorgeous, great playing, fun levels. It's just got a cool cyberpunk, futuristic, neon glowy vibe, and good work, Sega. You pulled off your Sonic Mania, where you did something that is the best version of a thing that is already like trying to remind you of why old games used to be awesome, but you like brought them into the modern era, and it's cel shaded, and it's got like the nice ink work, and what a kick-ass game this is.
Here's what I want from Sega. I want them to partner with Nintendo to release Phantasy Star Online episode 1 and 2 onto the Nintendo Switch Online GameCube emulator.
They already do a thing for Xbox, the PSO2.
Oh, PSO2 exists. I don't want to fucking play PSO2. I want to play Phantasy Star Online.
Oh, 1. Okay, that's what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. For episodes 1 and 2. Sorry, that's what the GameCube version is called.
Oh,
it has all of the content from the Dreamcast, and there was new content when it came to the GameCube. Not PSO2. Like PSO2 is a gacha game, like effectively, like it's like an online free to play, whatever. Do your dailies, whatever. That's fine.
Well, keep writing your letters to Nintendo and Sega.
Yeah, dear Sonic the Hedgehog, give me Phantasy Star Online 1. My number 5, we're in the top 5 already.
Yeah, I know.
Date Everything. What a cool, horny thing, which I think is on brand for us. Weirdly, horny became... We did not anticipate horny being the Video Game Town brand. But I do think it became the Video Game Town brand.
I don't know what you're talking about. I was fully intended.
And it's a game that has like 100 romanceable characters in it. And I think that's fucking cool as shit. Cool, weird, gay, kissing, smooching simulator. It's queer as hell. I dig it. There's too many moments that are just extremely funny. Bespoke. Like, not only is it like you have to have experience with the game to kind of understand why this is funny, but you have to like understand the dynamics between these two characters to understand why it's funny. It's a great game, and you smooch just a million fucking anthropomorphized versions of the world, like the great example being like doors. So every time you talk to a door, you're just talking to versions of the concept of door, and I think that's neat. And it gets very, very, very meta. And like kind of like in every version of it, like you have these glasses that are themselves like your ability to tap into the essence of these items' souls or whatever. And it's extremely critical of tech bros and the AI nightmare and all of that good stuff. And I just think Date Everything is a top-notch game that has a voice cast that maybe is like the best voice cast of all time. It just has like every voice actor you've like ever heard of is in that fucking game. And because there's so many characters, it would be hard to outdo Date Everything in terms of like a roster of voice actors.
And they're all playing household objects. They're not even playing like, like the typical people who they would do voice acting for, which is anime waifus and grunts and soldiers.
But what if like your refrigerator could be your husbando?
I never considered that.
What if your refrigerator could be like a weird werewolf guy and you can smooch him?
Is your refrigerator running right now?
You better hope he is.
My number 5, I'm going to just describe in 2 words. Oh, banana!
I fucking love hearing "oh banana." I still to this day.
Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Punch those fucking rocks, Donkey Kong.
Not exactly the thing I wanted Nintendo's best team to do. I'm glad they did it.
And like I'll take cool weird Donkey Kong.
I mean, they made arguably one of the best Donkey Kong games ever, and
I don't think like it's not the most influential, but I think it's probably the best.
I mean, Donkey Kong Country 1?
What about like Donkey Kong 94, like the Game Boy game?
I like that
invented one. butt stomping.
I obviously everyone wanted Mario. I don't think this holds a candle to Mario.
It would be better if they had released Mario. I think everybody knows that.
Yeah, this game does not hold a candle to Mario Odyssey, but in the desert that is like 3D platformers, this is an oasis that I got to fully enjoy. I don't think there's anything about this that I can say that people don't already inherently know when they hear, hey, Nintendo's making a big platformer out of one of their major characters, their main IPs. You would imagine it to be polished to a sheen and extremely pick up and play fun and have a ton of stuff to do. And I like that they incorporated RPG upgradable things, and there's always things you're unlocking and finding and discovering even late into the game. Very cool worlds and levels, even though it doesn't make sense as you sort of fall through the planet. Each stage has its own sky and whatever.
It's
like
gobbledygook.
It doesn't make any sense.
And also, I think it's slightly less technically sound than you would expect a Nintendo game to be. Like, there's a oops, I fucked this up, reset the world button, which I think is an admission of like, oh, okay, this isn't maybe up to our normal level of quality.
I mean, it's good in that, like, if you're just destroying a lot of stuff and you're like, actually, I regret smashing all those things. It's nice that they let you unsmash things.
No, for sure, it's good to have that when you could have fucked yourself over, but the fact that they made a game that was not so, like, hyper thought out that it would be impossible to get yourself stuck, which I think is a very Nintendo thing, is like, no, we don't allow you to get into an unsolvable position. That's not a thing we allow.
I think that the DLC for this was ridiculous in that they clearly just stripped out their final bonus reward level as DLC, or Mario Odyssey, it was Princess Peach's castle from Super Mario 64. Like, that was like the best final thing, and for this, it was the DK64 island with like characters, and they just like cut it and they put it as really expensive DLC, which is insane.
Well, Nintendo has to go through the process that every other developer went through like 20 years ago. So they have to be like, oh yeah, just cut shit and sell it as DLC. Nintendo has to be like, oh, what if we cut shit and sold it as DLC?
Internet, interesting. I'll try that with voice chat. It's like, we did
what
that 20
if I
years
looked
ago.
into the Yeah, exactly. Like Nintendo has to go through because they can't possibly learn from other other game devs. They have to experience everything on their own.
The year is 2013. What if we did an HD console?
Hear me out, Jared. What if there was armor for this horse?
Yeah, if the camera was better and it didn't get stuck inside
it's a bad camera.
of the stuff, yeah. But otherwise, it's a great game, so that's my number 5.
Yep, it's a good game. They did a good job. I enjoyed playing it, and I would like to play more of it someday. Number 4, Lost Records: Bloom and Rage. This is Don't Nod going out and saying, what if we made a Life is Strange style game, but we own the IP instead of like Square Enix or Microsoft owning the IP? And I think they did a great job. So this is very much structured in like an It, where you're flashing back and going through these, like these teenage girls living their life in the 90s, and you have all the nostalgia that is attached to that. And then you're going back to like, here's the present day and them as adults, and kind of like dealing with like this dark shit that happened in the 90s. And I think it's mostly like a really heartwarming thing that has some like, streaks of darkness and sci-fi doom type shit. But I think it's just like a really well executed one of those. And I think, like, sure, can you say that the first, it's broken into 2 parts, that the first part is better than the second? Yeah, sure. But like lots of games don't finish as strong as they start. Like that's a thing that you might say the vast majority of games do. And I just think it's a really excellent one of those. So if you like a Life is Strange style story, you like a coming of age story with some sci-fi elements, go play fucking Lost Records. Like, there's no reason for like the bajillion people who like Stranger Things not to play Lost Records.
Wait, you're telling me that there's Bloom and Rage in this?
Yeah, you can bloom and you can rage.
I was really interested in the raging, but the blooming.
But I would argue the bloom is better, and I'm also not joking.
If only I understood what the hell that actually meant.
Well, you're gonna have to play some Lost Records: Bloom, ampersand, rage.
RCMS doesn't really love ampersands, especially when it comes to slug lines. Anyways, that's too inside baseball. Number 4 has no baseball. It's Ghost of Yotei. And I did not think I would enjoy this game as much as I did. I thought Ghost of Tsushima was fine. I thought the Infamous games were fine. I am the world's biggest Sly Cooper fanatic. So for Sucker Punch to deliver their best game since Sly 3 is a real testament to, like, don't judge a book by its cover, because, like, I don't know why this one worked way better than Ghost of Tsushima. And I can't quite put my finger on it, but I had so much more fun playing this. And
I think that it looks better, and I think it probably controls better. Like, I didn't put a ton of time. I probably put like 5 hours into it. And I put way more time into Tsushima. I think it probably just like moving around and executing the things feels better. Like it has better game feel than Tsushima did.
I think this is what it is. It doesn't overly hit you over the head with tutorials and like slow roll it. It kind of gets you into it quicker. The different weapon stances is akin to Neo, where it is a lot more free-flowing in how you kind of play. The sort of various tasks and mini-games and explorables are more fun. And I just think it was just like, I think like the things around the edges are just a lot smarter. I bring this up a lot, but I like resting at a campsite, get your health back, get your, the little yellow balls on the bottom left that like you use for various abilities. And then like merchants will like come over and it's like, hey, like I got a thing to sell you, or you can upgrade this thing. It's like, oh, thank you for showing up exactly when I needed you to. And it kind of keeps the loop of you going out, finding things, completing things, scratching things off the list, and then you rest, and then it's like, oh, well, have you considered this at this campfire? It's like, oh, thanks for showing up, random vendor.
Which is so interesting to me, because you talk so much shit about Horizon 2, and I think that so much of that game, one, I think I resonate really well with the overarching like sci-fi story that those games are telling. But two, So much of the second game is, what if we had quality of life shit? What if we just put so much quality of life shit? And that I'm so surprised that you make such frowny faces about a game that I love, when that game is like, hey, we made this game. What if we continued telling the story and doing the same kinds of stuff that you did here, but all the complaints from the first game were solved?
I don't know about that. I really, really, really thought the first Horizon was great. And playing the second one, it was so, like, visually noisy, and it, like, wanted me to, like, scan things, and I was, like, trying to, like, that first opening area, and I was like, I don't know, like, what's going on? But, like, as I played more of that game, I just got more annoyed with it. I can't even tell you, like, why, but I was just like, I don't think there was, like, as many quality of life things as I was expecting.
Dude, going back and playing the first game after, like, because I went back and played the entirety of that first game after beating the second game, and I'm like, oh, there's so much shit that they fixed in the second game. It's like by a lot. Honestly, just jacking the Breath of the Wild glider does a lot.
That glider is not good. That's not a good glider.
I couldn't disagree.
It's a limiting glider. It's not a. I don't know. Invisible walls. Something about that second game. It was just like they bit off a lot more than they could chew, and I was like just kind of rubbing up against the guardrails, and I was just like, I don't know about this one. What's your number 3?
Couldn't disagree more.
We need to move on. What's your number 3?
The root trees are dead. Those motherfuckers died. It's like if you're at all familiar with A Christmas Carol, it's like Marley was dead to begin with. Like, it starts off where it's like, these motherfuckers died. And it's not like, oh, and the secret is they didn't die. Like, no, they fucking died, son. And then you do genealogy on an old computer for, 8 hours. I played the ever-loving shit out of this game, building out an entire, the root tree, family tree with my wife. And, it is a killer game. And I'm so glad, because it started out with kind of like a game jam game, and it was made by like one person, and it had like fucked up AI art shit. I think it's just a person, but maybe it's a collective of Evil Child was like, this game fucking rules. What if we like funded it and do like bespoke art and like do all of this stuff and like released it as a for-pay video game instead of a compromised browser game? And they just crushed it. It's such a good game. It is one of the best games of the year. I love The Root Trees Are Dead.
I think this is Grant the video game.
Oh,
I think this is very much a thing that you would love.
For sure.
It's on my honorable mentions. I really liked it.
I'm surprised it didn't land on your list. I'm legitimately surprised it didn't.
It was close.
It didn't land on your list.
It was close. This is mixing her story and the Return of the Obra Dinn.
Yeah, it has Obra adjacent vibes. I think it is less opaque than the Obra Dinn. Like, the Obra Dinn, I think, sometimes requires you to do a lot of like weird mental math that I didn't always vibe with. But like, Root Trees Are Dead, it is very much a great game.
Played through Obra Dinn, and I did the mental math, and I think I was able to sort of ace it, like, as I was going. Like, I didn't have any problems. And her story is fun to try to figure it all out on your own. And with this, it was a lot of like, I kept getting stuck and then like using the hints a lot and then getting stuck and using the hints. And that sort of repeated bashing my head against the wall got to a point where I was like, I don't know how much more of this is going to like, do it for me.
Oh, see,
like, it wasn't like,
I feel like our brains are wired differently, because I used the hints for this like twice. Like, it was like
you're a genius.
I was barely. Well, here's the thing, but then like but some of the shit that they ask you to do in Obra Dinn, and I'm like, ugh, this is tiresome.
No.
So I just think our brains are just wired different.
Well, I think our brains are wired in the same way with my number 3, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be on your list coming up. It's Dispatch.
True. Only 3.
Is Dispatch your number 3?
No, my number 3 was Root Trees Are Dead.
Oh, wow, because you have Dispatch higher. Ooh, interesting. Is Dispatch your number 2?
Maybe. We'll see. Well,
should we both talk about it now?
will you talk about it and then I'll talk about it?
This might be the best Telltale. What genre? We need to come up with a genre.
Like a cinematic adventure game.
All right, that'll do for now. This is one of the best cinematic adventure games ever made. This is the start of a new franchise, if they want it to be.
For sure.
Comics,
there's
TV
no
show,
way.
spin-off.
There's no way that it's not going to be more Dispatch. I think they already announced they're doing an animated thing, like an animated series type thing. There's going to be more Dispatch. Don't you worry.
Listen, hey, they said that about The Wolf Among Us, and then
yeah.
I mean, I know that was based on Fables, which is like a graphic novel or comic book already.
Jared, I don't even know if you know this, but the team that made Dispatch, Ad Hoc Studios, had a lot of the Wolf Among Us people, but they were working with the zombie, with the Lich Telltale to develop the second season, and then they had to break it off because whatever, the new Telltale is a nightmare or whatever.
As much as I want a Wolf Among Us 2, I am giving up those hopes because Dispatch, whatever, I will be there day one. This was such a delight to play, a total blast. It is so good to be in like great hands where it's like you don't have to worry, or you're like, oh, they know exactly where this is going. They know all the right buttons to push. They know when to ramp it up. They know when to slow it down. They know when to introduce characters. They know who needs to be comic relief, and they paced it out pitch perfect. I really like dispatching the actual like meat and potatoes of the gameplay. I like the hacking minigame. It's not amazing, but I liked it. I like weird little minigames like that, like the tubes in BioShock.
In my heart, I knew you were going to reference the tubes in BioShock.
Yeah. And there are just some absolutely outstanding performances from major celebrities and then like small YouTubers who I really like Joel Haver, or Moist Critical, or Alana Pierce and Jacksepticeye, and like all these people who I've known from the internet. Like they're terrific. And I played this with my fiance, and we had such a good time. And Flambe doing karaoke, moment of the year. We didn't give it moment of the year, but it kind of should have been moment of the year. So funny. This is such a delight.
I don't want to blow your mind, but Dispatch is my number 2 game. And it was...
Yeah, it has to be.
Well, it was really close between that and Root Trees. Like, Root Trees was sitting at number 2 for a long time. I was frustrated because, like, Root Trees is very much a great game. Like you said, it is. They made this game. It's like they made the game specifically for me.
It's like you made it.
Yeah, it is. I honestly, like, obviously nothing in my brain was ever anything like The Root Trees Are Dead, but I have absolutely 100% had the thought process of, like, I want there to be a game where you take the cool parts, like, the exciting, like, oh, fuck, I made this discovery parts of genealogy. Like, if you could make that into a game, it would be incredible. And the answer was like, yeah, of course, yes. If you can figure out how to make cool game design around the aha moments of genealogy, then yeah, it fucking rules. I think Dispatch deserves like how well they pulled it off, because I think that I went in being like, yeah, they're probably going to do a good job, and I think they didn't just do a good job. I think they did an incredible, like a top tier job. They made a wonderful game. You go in, this is a game that has so many characters in it. Like, it's really hard to establish personalities for that many characters. And I think that in a relatively short amount of time, it's like an 8 to 10 hour game, you understand like all the like these characters and how they interact with each other and like the relationships between these two characters. They execute all of that really well. The performances are wonderful. And I think that one of the criticisms you have on this type of game, and even like games like some RPGs, like choice-driven RPGs like Mass Effect, is like you can never really make, decisions that are that drastic from one another. Like you kind of always end up doing that, like the split where you, like the diamond where like it splits into a Y, but then it comes back together. I think they do a good job of making your like decisions and your like the gameplay in the like dispatching mode. I think they do a good job of kind of like putting that all together and making it feel cohesive, where it doesn't just feel like you're railroaded down a path. It makes it feel like you were participating in the storytelling, which is the goal.
If I had the time, I would go through this again and pick all the complete opposite choices. But I have seen enough on YouTube to dissuade me from that, only because I don't feel like I need to sit there and literally dispatch the crew out again So
when is there also... So, like, obviously there exist many games that have nudity in them. Like, obviously. But when was the last, like, mainstream game that has just straight up dick in it? It's been a while.
Rockstar games.
It has been a...
Rockstar games since the Ballad of Gay Tony have always had a penis in them.
Does Red Dead 2 have a penis?
I'm pretty sure yes.
But even that's like a 2017, 2018 game. That's a long time.
I literally can't think of another example other than
Rockstar having dongs.
It has to be. It's Rockstar games. Is there any in The Witcher?
I don't think so. But
are there any in like Assassin's Creed? I
hope not.
Those are the only examples I could possibly come up with.
Look at my dick.
Otherwise, I got nothing for you.
I also like that you were bringing it to Assassin's Creed.
No, I'm thinking like an Odyssey, Valhalla. Like, is there like a naked person like in a cutscene, like as a joke?
Maybe, but like
maybe
is there if this was like 2010, it would be like male nudity on the Giant Bomb Wiki or whatever.
So now we're gonna get to my number 2.
Yeah.
We're gonna move away from all this dick talk.
Hashtag dick talk.
This was my game of the year for most of the year, and I think that there's one major problem with this game.
Is that it's not Balatro.
It's Blueprints, and I think it intentionally forces you to replay it to a detriment, because it feels like it is hiding unlocks and progress, whether it be story or gameplay progress, behind RNG. It feels like you have to smash your head against a wall with RNG to sort of get progressing to the things that you want to see or the things that you want to have. And if it could just let you sort of unlock whatever, whenever, and not have to force you to like go through it again and again. Because you can just straight up have like really long runs that will never win and will never get you pieces of information or, you know, like actual tangible upgrades. Like it just like won't let you do it.
Yeah, I think the thing that really knocked me off of it, the thing that knocked me off of it was I had like 4 shitty runs in a row, and I'm like, all right, I think I'm done with Blueprints.
But otherwise, this game is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The design, the layout, the secrets, just like, it is very much unlike any other roguelike I've ever played. Because it mixes puzzle and walking sim and roguelike elements in such a unique way. I was just straight up hooked. I was obsessed. Everyone already made this joke when it came out in February. They showed the Charlie and It's Always Sunny, you know, crazy Pepe Sylvia conspiracy theory things or whatever. But you ask my fiance, I lived it. I'm writing things down. I'm drawing. I had not done this since The Witness, where I'm like using like a journal and like my phone to take photos to solve things. Yeah. And it was just the most incredible thing. And as the months went on, I heard people talking about it, and I was like, yeah, they're right. That could have been different. That could have been, yeah, no, it doesn't, yeah. And it just starts to chip away where, like, Balatro, I just played Balatro the whole year. I was like, this game's perfect. There's nothing wrong with this game. And there isn't. And this game, it started to, like, slowly gnaw away at me.
One of the things that made it really hard, it's like, oh, I have to do these, like, early things, like, 100 fucking times. Like, how many times do I have to do this fucking, like, one guard only tells the truth and one guard only tells lies box puzzle? Like, how many fucking times is it gonna have to do this?
Well, that's if you just want, like, the gem. And at a certain point, you can start runs with 2 gems. Like, you can upgrade yourself to, like, have these things, so you can sort of be like, I don't need to do that puzzle to get the gem or the key, because I'm already starting with money and keys and gems and steps. But it took me until run 69, LOL,
nice,
to beat the game. And the dartboard that is a math puzzle intentionally gets harder and more complicated and adds more things the more you beat it.
But here's the problem. It starts with regular math that I can do in my head, and I'm like, oh, this sucks. Fuck math. And the idea of being like, what if you had to do more intricate math? And I'm like, oh, so you want to punish me for playing the game? No, thank you.
Yeah, that kind of started to rub me the wrong way at a certain point. But, like, again, you do that to get certain items.
Yeah, so you could finish the fucking game and not have to worry about doing this bullshit anymore.
But you don't need the items.
Yeah, but they make the game, you finish it faster.
I think they could have definitely have
Not made me
worked
do
this
math.
game in a way that, like, maybe, I don't know, maybe you strip out but I really like the roguelike elements, but, like, you could have just had, like, a mansion, and all the rooms are in a certain place, but then you don't get, like, it's tough, because, like, if you were to do, like, making all the pipes fit together to have the water run through it, to, like, open up certain doors or whatever, or, like, you get the key cards to open up certain doors, like, some of that's permanent, but, like, would it have been better if it was just, like, I solved it once and I was done, instead of having to do it over the course of 5 different runs? Like, is it complicated to a point? Like, yeah, so...
It's kind of a homework game. It's a game that makes you do homework, and I don't like that part.
I think Lorelei and the Laser Eyes was much more like that.
I also
like,
didn't fucking play Lorelei specifically because people are like, it's like homework, and I'm like, all right, well, fuck that.
Yeah, no, this is like a game, and Lorelei and the Laser Eye was like an exam, and I was like, yeah,
I'm like, listen,
good
if doing math
doing
in a video game makes you happy, then go with God. It's just like it's not a Grant thing.
I just think this game is incredibly impressive, highly addictive, and has those reveal moments where it's like the garage door opens, or like the door to the gate to the garden opens, and then it's like, you have permanently upgraded XYZ. And then you find out there's like a whole thing underneath the manor, and like that's a whole other game, and you're just like, your brain is exploding, and you're like, oh my god, the chess pieces were a clue this whole time. Now I gotta look at where the chess pieces are on the board, and that in the row and the column is a number and a let, and it's just unbelievable. This game is unbelievable.
I wanted to like it more. That like it is a walking sim, and you're walking around and exploring a mansion. Like, oh, that's cool. And then it's like, okay, now I need you to like take out a notebook. I need you to draft the blueprints like I need you to map out how to get this connected to here. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But
you can upgrade the rooms, you can like combine the rooms, you can draft new rooms to go into the pool. Oh man, it's great.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it is a game that lots and lots of people like, and based on what we have seen so far in terms of like the lists that have come out, Blueprints did well. Like, I think people came a little bit, like a lot of the critics that played it before it came out came in a little too hot on like the best game of the generation. It's like, all right, I'll take it down a few notches. But I do think it ended up like people really like that game. But just maybe the hyperbole was a little intense.
I think the early hours of that game make you feel like that, and by the end, you do appreciate the game, but then you can really see its faults.
Yeah.
Like, you really see the flaws.
My number one game is Obscure Expedition 33, which seems to be the game that is sweeping GOTYs. What can I say? They fucking crushed it. They made such a good game. I love RPGs. There's been so much weird discourse about this game, and I feel like anytime a game wins a bunch of awards, or it kind of like sweeps GOTYs, or sweeps it as much as you can sweep things, I think people get weird and discoursey on the internet, and I don't love that part. And also people will have to make it weird and like xenophobic or racist against Japan, and I think that shit sucks. There's obviously a billion fucking JRPGs that I love and are incredible and are made in Japan, and you can make good games in Japan, you can make good games outside of Japan. It's unrelated to the quality of the game. I think that's really fucking weird that people talk about that, but the game itself, I just think it's just they absolutely deliver a game that is extremely, like, it is a game that begs you to understand and exploit the mechanics. Like, it wants you to, each character has its own distinct mechanics on how you play it in this turn-based game. Every single time that you upgrade or whatever, it is like begging you to be like, look at this. How can we use the synergies of this character in this turn order to make, like, if I have this character here, and they pop off in the third spot, and then I have this other character, and they're in the first spot. When it comes back around, they're going to be able to do buck wild damage. Like, they're going to absolutely crush the enemy. In an enemy that, like, if you're not exploiting the weaknesses, like, it might be like a really, really fucking hard fight. But then if you're using the mechanics like strategically and in interesting ways, you can just absolutely obliterate them. Just like wipe them on the floor like a cockroach. Like it is you decimate some motherfuckers in that late game. And I really like that stuff feels good. All of the interpersonal stuff, which I think is pretty clearly like the thing that drives me in video games, is interpersonal relationships. Not only like your quote unquote main character and other people, but also like characters within the game having interpersonal relationships with other people in the game. It's wonderful. Like all of your core team, I have nothing but like warm fuzzy feelings about all of them. Superb. And then I think that like the overall kind of like sci-fi premise and like the reveals as the game goes on, like they just keep doing reveals in like cool, interesting ways. And I don't think that it is like a twisty game. I don't think it's a game where it's like, aha, now you understand. But it's like, oh, like here's a cool new layer that like explains how this happens and like why it is the way it is. And they're able to understand like what is a satisfying way to do revelations, where I feel like so many games suffer when you have to like explain stuff, where it's like the idea is cool, the premise is cool, but then when they do the explanation of the thing, it like falls flat. I think they stick the landing with this, and it's just a wonderful game, and I hope they continue to put out cool, weird games. And I don't really need a Claire Obscure 2, but I hope that studio makes another RPG that does cool shit like Claire Obscure Expedition 33 does.
Our winner for worst name of the year.
It's a bad name, for sure.
It's a really bad name.
But it's a really great game.
I was surprised that my game of the year was not on your top 10.
It was hovering there around like the 10 spot.
In the middle of this year, I played Death Stranding 1, and I fell in love with it. And then I played the Ape Escape minigame section of Metal Gear Solid Delta. And I went, this Kojima guy's really onto something, and I'm quite enjoying his work. Like I did with Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain. And then I played Death Stranding 2, and I saved a kangaroo from a bushfire, and I met Leia Seydoux, and she had like little gloves around her neck that like helped her smoke. And then Elle Fanning showed up, and she like levitated. And then I like built a custom car, and it auto picked up packages. And then like earthquakes would happen, and then I think I fought Solid Snake underneath the ocean. And then a man named Pizza Chef did kung fu in his secret like kitchen basement, because he thought I was like not a porter. He thought I think he thought I was like some sort of like evil criminal or something.
Doll Man. Do not forget Doll Man.
I could throw Doll Man in the sky, and he was like the Hawk in the AC games,
yeah.
Where he could like,
Yep.
They just like injected like way more Metal Gear into Death Stranding, and it shreds, it rips. Troy Baker has like a guitar that like is a weapon that shoots electricity, and he like does solos.
Some of what the absurdity of Death Stranding gets a little bit diluted in 2, because there's just like so much other stuff going on, and that like the ridiculous kind of like by the time you get to the start of the second game, they're like, yeah, here's our dumb stupid premise, don't worry about that. It's kind of like how you get there, where like I feel like a lot of that first game you spend a lot of time marinating in like, and then if you die you become a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, there was a lot more friction in the first one, and if that's up your alley, then great. Like, there was a lot more, like, personal struggle with, like, carrying the things up mountains and, like, using the ladders and the ropes. And this game was like, here's a gun, and it just grabs the thing, and it just made the process easier. I think it was also easier because on Xbox, years after release, there wasn't a lot of people online.
Mm-hmm.
And with Death Stranding 2, there were so many people online that there were just constantly roads and cars and battery regenerators, so it made the game a lot easier. But that didn't make me play less. It made me play... I played so much of this goddamn game. I almost 5-starred every single base.
God damn.
I just played an inordinate amount. I mean, by the end, I like gave up. I was like, I don't need skins or colors or whatever. But like for a lot of it, I just kept delivering packages.
Because honestly, even if you mainline it, you're not really doing much of the side stuff. It's still like a pretty decently long game. So I can't imagine if you're like 100%ing it, you probably have like 80 fucking hours in that game.
No, I have less. I didn't come close to 100%ing it. Like, the last 5 to 7 bases, I was like, I looked up like what the rewards were, and I was like, yeah, I'm good. So like, I was like just doing everything, and then at a certain point, I like gave up, and I was like, I beat it. I'm good. So
Yeah,
I would say like 60-ish hours.
I'm looking up the how long to beat. For 2, if you're just booking it on the main story, it's 35 hours, which is a good length. That's a lengthy game. And then main plus extra is about 64 hours, and then completionist is 115 hours.
Yeah. Here's what helps though. There are just some cutscenes and dialogues or whatever. You can skip them. You can just skip them, and there's nothing lost. There is nothing lost.
I guess,
there's a
but
lot of...
like I kind of like it. I kind of like the ridiculous Kojima. Like,
I know that's why you play these games, but at a certain point, it's like, all right, shut the fuck up. I don't need to hear from this character and whatever. Like, I'll watch when Troy Baker's doing his guitar stuff, but I don't need to sit and listen to this person thanking me for the 800th delivery and blah. Like, just, I get it.
Like, there's that stuff, like, that, where you just deliver the person, like, that shit is who gives a shit. Like, the cutscenes where it's like, okay, now Kojima's gonna do some dialogue about, like, his thoughts on women or whatever. I'm like, okay. Yep, okay. I'm here.
I don't need to see myself walk to the bridge to take a shower. I don't need to, like, sit there and listen to, like, Tarman, like, wax poetic about what... I'm just like, shut up. Let me get back to delivering packages. I'm on a coffin that's like a skateboard that levitates. Like, the gameplay, the attention to detail, the crazy number of things that they put in there, and it's not just like for larks. It like, you're like, I could really use this stuff. I could really upgrade this stuff. I could like really like change up my kit. I could approach the stealth levels completely differently and with different, like, it is just so sandboxy in the way that MGS5 was. Death Stranding 2 is my game of the year.
It's a good game. And
I would have told you were out of your mind if that was going to be my conclusion by December, and it happened by like August.
Yeah, because like I covered it when the game launched, and you were like, yeah, whatever, like Kojima bullshit.
But that's why you play the games. You play Ghost of Yotei because I'm like, oh wow, I'm surprised by this, and you play Hades 2 and Silksong, you go, I'm kind of a little disappointed. Like, you have to play these things because you never know what is going to happen. You just never know.
You're saying that life is like a box of chocolates. You never know
like
what you're going to get.
Jenny.
Jared, that is our game of the year. What can people do if they want more Video Game Town?
Tough shit. They're out of luck. There's nothing they can do.
To go
hop
in a ditch.
True. No, don't die in a ditch. Go to videogame.town. We have an article about Ball Axe Pit from Ian Walker. I wrote about dad movies. You wrote about games that you're anticipating, which, boy, we're going to milk the shit out of that idea in the next few weeks. There's just all sorts of fun stuff on there.
You wrote, dad movies, games that you didn't play.
Yeah, the top 10 games I did not play that came out this year. Yeah.
We're being chill around the end of the year. We're taking it easy on ourselves. We've been working extremely hard for a long time now for because where we're at, like 7 months, 8 months, something like that. I've been working on Video Game Town.
It's 6 or 7.
It has been a hard time, but I think a very rewarding time. And so we're giving ourselves a little bit of a break. We're not posting nothing, but we're not going to be like sweating about hitting every single thing that we would normally be hitting. So definitely, we're going to be skipping a podcast. So next week, if you're listening to this on the day it comes up, 1 week from now, there will be no podcast. That will be the week between Christmas and New Year. No podcast. And thank you all for participating, for listening, for helping us in every way possible, and subscribing to our Patreon, which you of course can do at videogame.town/donate. Thank you for listening. Thank you for reading what we've written, reading like what other people have written for us. I think that's pretty great. I'm very proud of what we built. Thank you all. Have a wonderful new year.
Oh, banana.